Have you heard about the term wokeness or being woke lately? Like seeing people debate about it in videos or reading it in the comment section? And what do you associate with that term? And what does it actually mean? Because I feel like it's a very misleading term used to trick you into thinking that you are aware of your surroundings and you know what's going on, which you absolutely do not know, by the way, if you believe in this ideology. So, to better understand what I mean, I have this clip for you, for example, of someone with a working brain talk about the current wokeness movement. Have a look.
How do you define wokeness? Because I hear people use the term all the time and it means something different to everybody.
Well, again, I think it's this collection of ideas that are not building on liberalism, but very often undoing it. I mean, 5 years ago, Abraham Lincoln was not a controversial figure among liberals. We liked him. Now they take his name off schools and tear down his statues. Really? Lincoln isn't good enough for you? 5, 10 years ago, bedrock liberalism was we are striving to be a colorblind society where we don't see race. Of course, we see it, but it doesn't matter. That's not what woke is. Woke is something very different. It's identity. We see it all the time. It's always the most important thing. I don't think that's liberalism.
I mean, you know what's going on in this world. Or wait, maybe you don't. Because you believe in the wokeness in this world. And you can't think for yourself, right? You can't use your brain anymore. Like, people are forgetting to use their own brain. They rather want to believe everything they hear. Especially from one source. Yeah, let's focus on only one source and then believe everything. That's what society is heading towards. Everybody is stuck in their bubble. And for most people, their bubble is the government and TV and the news. Do you think all the information from the news are completely useful for you? Do you really believe that? Because you shouldn't. You should start thinking for yourself and actually be woke. Because what wokeness means nowadays is actually being asleep. It's blindly compliant. It's praising that not offending anyone and having as much diversity as possible are constantly the most important things. It's designed not to be questioned, and that's the dangerous thing about it. You shouldn't think about your actions. You should do what you're told to do. Right? That's wokeness. It's there to distract you. I can tell you Andrew Tate is right with his opinion about the news and how you're programmed and how everyone is programmed. It's not even Andrew Tate saying it. Just look on YouTube. There are a bunch of animated videos, like little cartoons, like really good animated videos that show very well how the world is designed and how you as the normal citizen are being exploited big time. You can watch all these videos. I can put a few of them in the description. Then you will see what I mean. You're just being distracted all the time. Social media, everything. That's not nothing of this is happening by accident. It's all planned. Everything is planned. You shouldn't think about this stuff. You shouldn't get educated about that. That's why the school system is exactly how it is. You shouldn't think about these things. You should think about how to solve math problems and how to write essays, but not where inflation comes from or something like that. You shouldn't think about these things because it harms the government. And guess what? By now you should have already realized the Matrix is real. And if you don't want to call it Matrix, then use some other term. Just say cloud world, or modern degeneracy, or manipulation via technology. It's all the same thing. It all means the same thing. A serious question. Where do you think inflation is coming from? Right. The Federal Reserve is printing money, right? Okay, why is it printing money? To help the people? Yeah, would be great, right? But it isn't. It's there to fuck you up. Imagine this. You're at your job, you're earning decently, right? The prices are decently of all the products, and all of a sudden, you just earn 30% less. Just from one day to another, you earn 30% less. And everything is priced the same. You would be pretty outraged, right? You would be pretty angry at whoever changed that. Now guess what? If your salary is staying the same or relatively the same and more money is being printed, So all the prices of all the products are getting higher because, you know, big companies, rich people aren't stupid. They increase the prices according to inflation, but your salary is gonna stay the same because you're just a little worker. You're not thinking about this stuff. You're not even getting outraged because you don't know where inflation is coming from. Maybe you do, like most people know it, right? Because more money is printed and so the value shrinks. It's pretty obvious, and a lot of people know it. But they don't think enough. They don't think far enough. You're equipped with a brain, use it. Don't be asleep. You know, that's the funny thing. People call it wokeness. the modern way of thinking. Yeah, very woke. Yeah, it's actually just being asleep. It's the complete opposite. It's a 180-degree turn. It's the complete opposite, and that's why they call it woke. Because you should think that you're very intelligent and thinking about everything. Yeah, and you know, you're so aware of your surroundings. You know everything, right? Yeah, you know nothing. Shit. You know who is truly woke? You know who is truly woke in this world? It's rich people. It's every company leader, every CEO, every businessman. Those people are actually woke. Like the real woke, not the social media woke, not the dumb woke, not the degenerate woke. Because, like I said, that's asleep. I mean, actually woke. Yeah, it's every rich person. And you know what's the funny thing? Almost all rich people have a similar mindset to Tate. They may not say it out loud, like Tate is doing it, and it also might not be 100% his mindset. Again, you shouldn't take all the information from one source. I'm watching a lot of Tate videos, I like his videos, but I'm not using 100% of the information. I agree definitely that he is saying some misogynistic stuff, but I can just filter it out, you know? I'm using my brain. You know, I'm woke. Now we're back to the topic. I'm woke. I'm using my brain to filter the dumb shit out and using the 85% of useful information, of useful life lessons. Life lessons that teach me how I'm getting fucked up in real time. Okay, where were we? Right, we talked about how rich people are the ones that are woke. If you look at Elon Musk, for example, this guy is clearly one of the richest people in the world. I don't know if he is the richest one or not, doesn't matter. He's definitely one of the richest. Look at this clip, for example, and try to connect the dots that we have discussed already. This is the perfect example for you to practice thinking for yourself.
So I think a lot of people thought when you bought Twitter that this is kind of an outlier. Like, how does this, what doesn't fit with these
Sure.
other things you're doing? I never thought that. Because I
yeah.
think you're dealing with big civilizational issues and problems, and I was right on your page. I think Twitter is one of them. I mean, you have talked about this
Yeah.
woke mind virus
Yes.
in really apocalyptic terms.
Yeah.
You should explain why you don't think it's hyperbole to say things like it's pushing civilization towards suicide. First of all, what is the woke mind virus? And if we don't deal with this, nothing else can get done. Tell me why you think that.
Yeah, so I think we need to be very cautious about anything that is anti-meritocratic and anything that is that results in the suppression of free speech. So, you know, those are two of the aspects of the woke mind virus that I think are very dangerous. Is that it's often anti-meritocratic. You can't question things. Even the questioning is bad. So, you know, another way to almost synonymous would be cancel culture. And obviously people have tried to cancel you many times.
Many times.
Yeah, I mean,
Every week.
yeah.
From left and right. I've had it from both sides.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. People, you and I are both like in that little group of people. Maybe it's a bigger group now.
Yeah.
Who are called conservative, who haven't really changed. I don't
Right.
think of you as a conservative.
I'm definitely, yeah, like, I at least think of myself as a moderate, you know, so, I mean, at least, I've spent a massive amount of my life energy building sustainable energy, you know, electric
Yes.
vehicles and batteries and solar and stuff to help save the environment. That's not a, you know.
No.
It's not exactly far right.
No,
you
you
know?
drew that diagram.
Pretty interesting, right? Okay, let's take a look at the crucial parts.
Woke mind virus.
Yes.
in really apocalyptic terms.
Yeah.
You should explain why you don't think it's hyperbole to say things like it's pushing civilization towards suicide. First of all, what is the woke mind virus? And if we don't deal with this, nothing else can get done.
You know, Elon Musk is someone who is hyper-productive, and the topic only slows us down unnecessarily and stops productivity. Because, for example, now CEOs have to bother with queer people quotas, they need to hire trans people just to look modern and woke to the outside world, when in reality someone else would be much more qualified instead. And if we hire all these talents from all around the world, then guess what? We create a world of mixed races automatically. Of course we see race, but it doesn't matter. That's a W quote, actually. Why should it matter if you dress like this, or like this, or if you have a dick, a vagina, or both between your legs? When you apply for a job, everybody should get hired based on their qualifications, not sexual orientation. Seems pretty obvious, right? But the crazy thing is that I have to explain that in 2023. If a person looks like this and steals a white man's job because they are better at it, then congratulations, well deserved. But if it's the other way around, then somehow that's racist or anti-modern or what? It's absolute bullshit, honestly.
When they attacked me, they lump a whole bunch of things in together. They say misogynistic, racist, transphobic. They just put them all together at random. I'm mixed race.
By the way,
I don't know where they get these. They just get these buzzwords and put them in a sentence.
By the way, I completely agree.
It's crazy.
And I've had the same thing done to me.
Okay, well,
and
there
I'm
you go
not
then.
calling you anything. I'm asking you what you personally believe you are.
It's not an issue I discuss. What I do discuss is
So
that...
you support transgender people?
I support individual liberty. I'm a libertarian.
Yeah, so you support transgender people?
Sure. Why not?
Exactly, yeah.
So, but my point is, as a whole, you're saying that I'm saying I don't want to see men in dresses. I'm saying no.
You support gay people?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's a large contingent of men in the world who like the idea of the traditional masculine view of the world, who feel happy when they watch 80s action heroes with big muscles and they run around. And there's nothing toxically masculine about having a fast car and a beautiful girlfriend and making a bunch of money. And
Nothing at all.
Absolutely. And those are the people who are my fans.
I agree.
I'm
but
saying...
actually, but the problem is, okay, I'm going to interrupt you just to say this. No.
Okay, but you're saying that I have a problem with men in dresses. I'm saying no. The people who watch my
I've asked you
content...
that question, you've answered.
Yeah, but the people who watch my content don't want to see men in dresses. Clearly, I don't wear a dress.
All right, on to the next clip.
You know, those are two of the aspects of the woke mind virus that I think are very dangerous. Is that it's often anti-meritocratic. You can't question things. Even the questioning is bad. So, another way to almost synonymous would be cancel culture.
The woke left are full of hate. They weaponize virtue to pretend they care about others because they're such hateful, nasty people. There's not a single woke leftist who attacked me for being misogynist, which donates to women's charities like I do. Not a single one who's built an orphanage like I have. Not a single one who takes stray dogs to the streets in Romania like I have. Not a single one who's prevented anyone from suicide. Nothing. They just took fake virtue, weaponized it, pumped it full of their own hate, because they're hate-filled, and attacked me with it. The woke left are the most hateful, divisive, intolerant people on the planet. There's no point in calling for tolerance to different skin colors if you do not tolerate tolerance of ideas. What's the point in that? To say that we love diversity, but only if everybody looks different, but thinks exactly the same. Is that diversity? No, sir, it is not. Diversity is not that we look different, that we think different, that we act slightly differently. That's truly diversity, because people are not for diversity or inclusion or tolerance. They are hate-filled. They attack me and they attack anybody who has any influence on the world, which does not absolutely utterly go lockstep in line with their insane dogma and doctrine.
And now onto the topic of suppression of free speech. If you criticize body positivity, for example, because it's clearly fucking dumb to call a fat body healthy and not encouraging people to get in shape, right? If you do that, you will get a fuck ton of hate from the Matrix.
If you look at a man and the man said, yeah, he's fat, the man will if he's feeling bad about himself, he wants to make say, he'll go and hit the gym. What's the woman going to do? Get a BBL, get her lips done, put on her makeup, put on her hair, and stay the big old fat person that she is and say, oh, it's body positivity.
You know, and also people are caring too much about not offending anyone, but what they don't realize is that they aren't helping anyone with that either. Look, I'd rather have someone telling me exactly what he thinks, someone who is critically thinking, not blindly compliant, because guess what? This guy or this person is gonna give you a lot more value. Someone who lets you know what you did wrong, someone who tells you where you can improve, someone who makes it clear to you when your opinion is just straight up stupid or wrong, that is the kind of person that I would want to have in my friend group, because that's a great opportunity to build your character and improve mentally. The wokeness movement, however, is doing the complete opposite. They want you asleep. They don't want you to question anything they say. And if you do say something that doesn't fit within their ideology, you're getting cancelled. You're getting called a racist, misogynist, and perhaps transphobe. You see? They don't want you to think critically for yourself. And I really hope you're starting to see the parallels between rich people, who are essentially world leaders, because money directly correlates to power, and all these people have one thing in common. They understand the world very well, they analyzed it, they used it for their own advantage. So I bet a big portion, if not all rich people, have a very similar mindset to Tate. Of course they don't say it directly, because that wouldn't benefit them. Why would Elon Musk, for example, destroy his reputation by warning the public? He needs to sell Teslas. Who buys Teslas? It's the normal population, right? And why does Tate give out this kind of information? Well, firstly, because he wants to have a positive impact on the world, and secondly, because it's his fucking business with Hustlers University. Suddenly, it all makes sense. The dots are connecting. At least I hope so. Honestly, we should be so fucking grateful for someone like Tate appearing on the internet and waking us up. And let me tell you this, don't ever get distracted by people who think he's bad. These people are stuck in the wokeness ideology. Those people are completely lost. And wokeness basically means being asleep, as we discussed earlier. After all of that, let's end the video on a good note with a W video clip from Tate explaining perfectly why it absolutely does not matter what skin color you have, and that racism for the top richest people on the planet doesn't even seem logical. And all of this woke bullshit was made for society to firstly distract them, and secondly having something for people to argue about, because that's what unproductive people like to do all day. I'm not surprised why I don't even have Twitter.
When a black billionaire meets a white billionaire, do you think there's any racism? Do you think they care? He's a billionaire, I'm a billionaire, both our yachts are in Monaco. He's from Algeria, he stole all the gold. I'm a stock market whatever. There's no racism. The racism's for the poor people. Because if you keep the poor people divided, they can't wake up long enough to do what I did and read about how money works. Because if they do that, we got big trouble, right? Then the slaves will wake up. You don't want to deprogram the slaves. So you have to convince the slaves that it's not the monetary system's fault that you're broke. It's not the monetary system's fault that you continue to work for a set number of dollars and the price of houses just keep going up and up and up. It's not the monetary system's fault. It's the white man's fault, or the black man's fault, or the Asian people's fault. It's someone else's fault. I think all this stuff, feminism, racism, all these things, I think they're all control mechanisms. They have to keep the poor people fighting amongst each other, because if the poor people all unite, then it's much harder to control us.